So first up on Trainerize, I'm going to show you how to develop a program and workouts within the program. So first of all, we're going to open up your platform and then go to Master Libraries, and we're going to go into Programs. From here, you'll be able to browse through all the shared programs that we have. So everyone that's a coach on our training hub gets access to view all these programs, and I will soon show you how you can actually interchangeably use some parts of particular programs in the shared programs in combination with the ones that you develop as well. We've also got your personal programs here, so if you've got any ones that you are working on or adjusting, and so they're sort of still in the draft phase, you can keep them in personal, but we like to put all the programs into shared just so that everyone has access to them, and every trainer gets a few little ideas and benefits from it. So to develop new programs, we're going to go to the new here and then build new. You can name the program whatever you like, make it something that's easily identified, and you can, so that yourself and the other trainers know exactly what they're opening up. So say for instance it can be a 8-week female bodybuilding, 4-day split, something like that, or it could be 6-week 3-day split gen pop, whatever it might be. Write the program name in there. If you are doing like a challenge or something, make sure it's a specifically named for the challenge. We're just going to do test program. For this one, we're going to do a phase training program. We always want it to be a phase training program so that it progresses over the course of the program. Duration, so how many phases you want to have within the program. So obviously, if we're having 4 different phases and each phase goes for 4 weeks, that's going to be a 16-week program. What we tend to do is 3-week phases, and we tend to do 4 of them, so it works out to be a 12-week program. That usually gives people the opportunity of becoming aware of the new movements and being comfortable with them, and having 2 weeks to progress within those movements, rather than just doing a 2-week phase where they're sort of just learning the movements, and then once they become accustomed to it, it all changes again. The 3-week phases tends to give them a little bit more time to learn what they're supposed to be doing and to actually push the intensity a bit. Completely up to you what you want to do. Even if you wanted to just do 2-week phases or 1-week phases, whatever your program that you individually want to do, you can develop that up. So just for the sake of this, we're going to do 2 phases of 3 weeks, so a 6-week program. Automatically schedule the progress shots and weigh-ins at the start or end of each training phase. This is really beneficial if you want to get those before and after shots of your clients. Obviously, if you've got a program that it's not appropriate to have the photos and weigh-ins, so say for instance if you're doing a elderly strength program or something like that where it's not really necessary to have the progress shots, this is obviously more so for the aesthetic outcomes for a program. So yeah, you can keep them on or you can tick it off. You can always add in progress shots to individual clients' programs as well if it's something that they personally want to do. And we're going to save it to shared master programs. Obviously, if you want to continue drafting it, you can put it to your personal master program, but you can actually save shared master programs to your personal as well, and continue to adjust it there. So for the sake of this one, we're just going to put it to the personal, and we're going to save that there. So you'll now find that we've got the test program down here. You can write a summary for the test program as well, so a brief description of what's to be expected with this particular program. Again, with this, if you subscribe it to an individual client and you want to change the description just slightly for that individual, you can do so. This is just going to be a general overview of what's to expect in the program. And if you don't change it, any individual client will see it as well. So just anything basic. It can just be 3 days a week, 3-day split, sorry, program, 2 full body days, 1 conditioning day, whatever you want it to be, you just put that in there. You can even put in something that's a little bit more, obviously a bit more in depth. A few of these ones that we've got in our shared programs, we actually put in the measurements of the RPE so that they know as soon as they open up the program how to measure their RPE. So that's a good idea. Another good thing to do would be if you are writing a tempo for each movement, you can say tempo is written as 1, 2, 3 example, and explain what your tempo is written as. So like 1 is lowering eccentric phase, 2 is pause bottom phase, 3 is concentric lifting phase. Something like that, so that they've got a brief overview, but yeah, just something easy. From there, we're going to go to the first training phase, so weeks 1 to 3. You can again rename this, so you could just say building foundations or whatever you want it to be. You can then do obviously a summary of what to expect here, and now we're going to build a workout. So to build a workout, you go new, day 1, full body, whatever you want to call it. We're going to keep it as a regular workout here. You can do a circuit or interval, but you can also put in circuits or intervals into a regular workout as well. So not really necessary to just do a circuit. So we're going to go start building here. Again, you can have instructions for the particular workout. This is where I tend to put the tempo description and the RPE description, just because when they're opening up that particular workout, they can see that. If you've got any confusing sort of supersets or anything, you can write that in the instructions as well, and just say as a note to the movement, refer to instructions. Another thing I like to do is if we're doing a circuit, I put the circuit movements in here and development in here. I'll show you how to do that in a second, but then I write the instructions in there. So for instance, if we're doing an EMOM, I'll write the full EMOM here. So EMOM 15, 3 rounds, minute 1, 10 burpees, whatever it is. And so they've got a brief overview before they even look at the workout, because sometimes it can be a bit confusing. So for instance, if we're doing our full body workout, you can search anything. So air squats. Always try and use the videos that are of us. So either myself, James, Shane, Ty, whoever's in the video, try and use those ones. If you can't find them, it's totally fine to use the other ones. So we're going to go those ones. We're going to go burpee. You can see that video there. If you want to have a video, one that's not us in particular, I'm trying to think of pull-off press. So obviously we don't have any videos of us doing any pull-off presses, so you can use one of them. Yeah, so obviously just chuck it in like this. If you have a superset, you can tick the ones that are superset together and link them up. How many times you're doing the superset? We can do 3 times. We're doing 10 air squats. If I'm doing a writing down the RPE and the tempo for each movement, it does take a little bit of time, but it is very valuable for particularly clients that aren't accustomed to following a program, so that they know exactly how long it should be taken to do the particular movement and at what intensity. If you've got someone that's a little bit more advanced, it can go either way. Like, they do appreciate it, but they tend to know how to slow down the movement. Even if for not every single movement you have the tempo or the RPE, just the main movement, so they understand, okay, we're having a little bit more time under tension for this one. So I would write it as a tempo. We're going to do 2, 2, 1. So it's taking 2 seconds to go down, 2 seconds pause at the bottom, and then 1 second up. And then their RPE is going to be a 7. So 7 out of 10 for that. After we're doing that, they could be doing 10 burpees, or they could potentially be changing this to doing a time and doing burpees for 30 seconds. If you've got any notes with this, I would add it in here. So can be modified to slow step out and standing burpees or something like that. Even with these air squats, you can heels raised on bumper plates, something like that. If you need to make any particular notes for it, we're then going to do the time resting after the superset. So obviously they go squats, burpees, and then rest. So yeah, that's how you do a superset. You can even do a superset with more movements rather than just the two. So you don't have to just do 2 movements. Or you can just do single ones. So changing the sets of you doing it, the time, or the reps, the rest time, and so on. If you decide that you don't actually want to have a particular movement in there, you can tick that and then just delete it out, and then you can add in another movement that you want. Now, if we're doing our circuit, as I was explaining before, obviously you're not going to put all these together, but we can tick that and we're going to add a circuit. So after each movement, you've got a little bit of a rest, and it tells you how many rounds you want to do. So say if we're doing an EMOM, we can go, rest is going to be about 15 seconds for each one of here, because we're doing it as an EMOM, and I want it to take around about 45 seconds for their reps, and then you write the workout up here so they understand it. Awesome. So that's that done. Now, if you know that there's another workout from another program that you've looked at that you want to incorporate into this particular program, you can actually import a workout. So if you go import master programs and then shared programs, you can select the program that you want to copy a workout from. So advanced gym, the first phase, and I really like the day 2 one, so we're going to import that. So that's copied in there. What I would recommend doing is obviously going in there and just checking what the description is. So for example, this is one of the descriptions from one of the shared workouts is, be sure to include warm-up sets prior to working sets. The prescribed sets and reps are your working sets. Warm-up sets aren't included. So that just explains that they should be doing a bit of a warm-up prior to starting the movements. Tempo is written as such and so forth, and then obviously complete warm-up routine prior to starting workout. They've obviously all got their tempos, their reps in reserve, so again you can do RPE or you can do RIR. Some are supersets, some are just single sets, whatever it might be. If you need to edit anything, you can do so. And we're going to save that. So those are 2 workouts done in there. And then if we want, we can go to the next phase. So if you were keen to progress these on, you can tick them, copy to, and then within the program, and you can go test program into the next phase, and then the same workouts are copied. So that's a good way to change up the workouts a little bit. So say for instance, if you've got 4 phases, but you want to repeat the same movements from phase 1 into phase 3, you can copy the movements and then that's automatically in there. Or again, you can use it as copying in there so that you can adjust the movements and you know what was done in the last phase and the intensity to make sure that it is increasing. So as you can see there, we've got your 2 workouts on weeks 1 to 3, 2 workouts on weeks 4 to 6. So if I'm going in here and I wanted to progress a little bit, you can change the movements around, obviously. You can change the sets, you can change the reps, whatever it might be. Reps in reserve might then go to 2, whatever. Yeah, just play around with it. I do find it easier to write out my full program on like an Excel spreadsheet and then copy it over rather than just using Trainerize to write it out. But again, Trainerize is great because you do have the video library of the movement. So if you forget what type of movements there are, it's good to have that refresh there. So from here, we've developed up the program. We're going to go to your calendar. So this automatically will add in where the workouts are. So if we go to week 1 to 3, we're then going to schedule our workout. So I want this full body day to be on a Monday. Yep. And I want this upper body day to be on a Thursday. Same with these ones here, we're doing Monday and Thursday again. So ticking that on the first day of the week and then the 4th. So if I go back to calendar here, you can see that they're automatically scheduled in. So anyone that I assign this program to, I don't have to actually individually go on and schedule it in. Say if they've said that they want to have workouts on Tuesday and Thursday, I can easily just drag it over for the individual. The best example for this would be if we are doing a 3-day-a-week program. We usually schedule it to being Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then for the individual, if they say they can't work out on Monday, we can just drag it over for that person. But 9 times out of 10, Monday, Wednesday, Friday works pretty good for a beginner. If it's 4 days a week, then you'll be looking at doing more likely than not, Monday, Tuesday, rest day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday sessions. Again, individuals can change that too. So that is how to develop up a program. That's how to schedule it in. And now we are going to go through how to navigate your client's profile and to schedule in with the individual client their workout.